Let me ask you this. Do you know how to make the traditional spaghetti carbonara? Well, this simple pasta dish is a family favourite, but it seems that an awful lot of people are adding extra ingredients, which is in turn upsetting chefs who are facing a backlash from customers over the classic Italian tradition. And it's gone so far in one London restaurant that they've decided to take pasta carbonara off the menu altogether, after diners demanded cream, mushrooms and chicken as part of their meal. Mamma mia! Well, how do you settle this debate? You go to the chief pasta carbonara and Italian cooking chef in the country, Giuseppe Crudo, who's director of Pinocchio Cookery School and Magazine. Buonasera, Giuseppe.
Buonasera Connor, come stai?
Bene, come stai, Giuseppe?
Benissimo, benissimo.
Tell me this, Giuseppe. How do you make pasta carbonara?
Oh, okay. Well, to be honest with you, you have to distinguish between what is the real recipes and what I do. Because you see, like, it is true that is one of those recipes that has been reinvented by the Italians on a constant base.
Yeah.
So the traditional version is a recipe from Rome, which means that the ingredients are the one that you would source in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So you will use guanciale, which is kind of the cheek of the pig, you know, like rather than pancetta.
Okay.
You use the yolks and you use the pecorino romano. Pecorino is a sheep cheese, and it's the traditional one from Rome.
Okay.
Also, you use a lot of pepper because carbonara, just if I can tell you, it means charcoal-like. So that's carbone is charcoal in Italian, you know. And so the pepper is fundamental, because otherwise, how can you be carbonara if it doesn't resemble like a charcoal?
When do you put in the cream, Giuseppe?
Never. Well, actually, okay. So first of all, I have little confessions. I'm gonna be like very honest to you. Okay.
Okay.
So I do have a dirty past of student years where we would put anything into carbonara, including the cream. The only thing is, like, the cream is already a step too far, which means please do, Corner, if you want to put the cream, just don't call it carbonara. Call it pasta alla Connor, with cream and pancetta and eggs, because it's already a little bit out of the recipe. You see, what happens a lot with carbonara is that it's so popular that they call it carbonara even when the relation to the original carbonara has nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. You know, like
when you're in a restaurant, you see pasta. You order maybe pasta carbonara, not in your own place, and out comes a pasta carbonara with cream and chicken and mushroom, and you're crying into your handkerchief. Are you, Giuseppe?
No. I would feel more like I am on drugs or something, in a parallel universe where everything is allowed, where you introduce yourself as Giuseppe and people start to call you Peter just because they like to change names. You know? I mean, like, clearly it's not a carbonara, but could be a nice dish in any case. You know, it's a very popular name. I think that's the curse of carbonara. So sometimes when they want to promote a dish, they just call it carbonara because it sells better. You know what I mean? But can I tell you one thing? Yeah. Most of the Italians wouldn't really stick to the original recipe, only because as Italians, we love to reinvent recipes, you know, like, because otherwise we would eat the same thing again and again.
And it's
you know?
fun.
It's fun, and also...
Sorry, go on.
You have to consider just one little thing, that every areas in Italy have its local produces that can be really nice. So let's say if the local cheese could be a sheep cheese again, but it's very nice, why would you go for a pecorino romano when you can have your local pecorino? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you tend to reinvent it based also on the ingredients that are available to you.
You know, and so on. Let's reinvent carbonara mayo style, right? So this is Vinny and mayo texting.
I love it.
Texting Giuseppe, he says, I always put a little bit of Jamaican rum in my carbonara recipe, but I'm a pastafarian, he says. What about Jamaican rum?
Well, As I said, cooking is pure imagination and creativity. So I love this guy already. I really want him to be my friend and possibly to go for a coffee together.
Do you feel like you're on drugs? Jamaican rum and carbonara.
Oh, it would be great to do that. But I mean, it's a bit like that you shouldn't call it carbonara because these things you see are not just opinions. Have been codified. There is a patent. Is a recipe from after the war, created in Rome. So you know what I mean. So just call it pasta alla mayo, and it's true that, for instance, lots of people would add other ingredients. Now the rum rather is a little bit once again too much because I think it's gonna add something sweet which doesn't really belong to the dish, but it could be a nice dish in any case altogether.
Can I ask you this? Mary in Galway says, is it true that octopus ink is used in carbonara? Is that true?
No, not at all.
No.
It is true that octopus ink is an ingredient in Italian cooking. Like, for instance, you see, I'm the director of a school, we make fresh pasta, but sometimes you can also put in the fresh pasta the ink, which is also a way to have this kind of velvety and very black color for the pasta. So if you, let's say you are making tagliatelle with some prawns or some fish, it's nice to have a squid ink tagliatelle. We put squid ink also on the pizza. In a carbonara is a pure crime. I respect this woman for being so honest about her dirty habits.
Well, look,
nothing real about that.
I think, and I'm just guessing, that this woman loves and respects you as well, Giuseppe. There's no doubt about it. Do you know what? I had no intention of having pasta tonight for dinner, but after talking to you, I am definitely having pasta of some sort. The way you describe it and talk about food, Italian food, is something else. Giuseppe Crudo, grazie mille, director of Pinocchio Cookery School and Magazine. Thank you very much indeed.